Listen.
We ask you to refer your attention to the flag that's in the south scoreboard, and please rise to pray. Tonight's anthem will be played on guitar by former NXT men's wrestler Mikey Cross. We'll start with the 15 team on the scoreboard. These number 2 seeded Hudson Catholic. 16 years old has advanced to the championship. And they are looking for the 25-26 and 45. And they are in the South Carolina. Now, guard, a 6-4 number 0.
The sun has set here in Jersey City, New Jersey, and that means we are moments away from getting underway for game number 2. Hudson Catholic, who lost just moments ago in the girls' Hudson County Championship, looks to make a push on the boys' side. On the other side, it is St. Peter's Prep. They're used to this. They've won this. Hudson Catholic, a team with a lot of talent. They've got Power 4 in a lot of their futures, but Manny, St. Peter's Prep, a team greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Such a deep team and a team that never gets blown out. They haven't lost by 15 points or more since March 7th of 2022 against a Great Bergen Catholic team. Their defense, elite. They've held opponents to under 50 points in 22 of their 26 games. So you know Coach Maribel has a system in place that wreaks havoc on the defensive end.
We welcome you in here on HCST Athletics. Caden Drumler, Manny Pereira with you as we get underway. Richie Rosa and St. Peter's Prep with the first offensive possession of the finale of Championship Saturday. And quickly getting in the paint, and quickly Ashton Graves with a block. Edub going the other way, dumps it off down low, and a foul is going to be called. Houston Shortell going up for the layup there.
And that's exactly where this Hudson Catholic team, led by first-year head coach Kayvon Stewart, excels. They love to force turnovers and get out in transition. They're going to need to do that consistently to upset the Marauders.
Shortell at the line, shooting 2. No Hudson Catholic players up with them. And Shortell good on his first to open up the scoring.
Just a sophomore, Houston Shortell, averaging 6.5 points a game this season. He offers some length, plays very good defense for this Hawk squad.
Shortell 1 for 1. So Hudson Catholic will strike first, trying to break up the St. Peter's Prep three-peat.
Excellent defense from Graves there. Graves has been a revelation for this Hudson Catholic Hawk squad. They are 13-3 since he debuted against Hoboken. They were 3-5 before that.
Santiago on the wing, and he's going to get called for a travel.
And just a nightmare start here for St. Peter's Prep. We saw them not play the usual disciplined brand of basketball that they do against Union City in the semifinals. A lot of fouls, a few really uncharacteristic turnovers, and we see them start the same way here.
Graves, he'll pull a 3. Nice move before it. Rim is not kind.
Doesn't get the friendly bounce, but what a move on an elite defender, and Mason Santiago made him skate a little bit there. There you see Richie Rosa there on the top of the key. This Prep team, 10-0 when he scores 15-0. He averages 14 points a game in the Hudson County Championship in his career. He's been starting on this stage since he was a freshman.
Here's Martinez. They'll give it back to Rosa. Pressed up high by James.
The matchup of the night right here, Noriega and Richie.
Corner 3. And just off the mark for Martinez. And Graves finally able to come down with the rebound. No, they're going to call it jump ball.
Hawks will maintain possession. What a rebound there by Graves, and an uncharacteristic miss from Nick Ferdinand. That's one that he has to make. Actually, he was the most impactful player the last time these two teams played. 22-10. He feasts on Hudson Catholic and the undersized bigs that they have. There's A.J. Williams, who struggled against him last time out.
There's Noriega James, player of the game in that semifinal matchup to get them here. He'll take a mid-range cash it.
Noriega, 16 points his last time out. We're used to seeing him facilitate and play defense, but he can score the heck out of the ball.
Just over 2 minutes into this one, 5:35 on the clock in this first quarter.
Got a good matchup here for Prep. Ferdinand against James.
We'll give it back out to Santiago. Prep still yet to score.
Great job by Williams crashing down, disrupting that play for Ferdinand. You got to try to go back to him here, though, if you're Rosa.
Martinez now in St. Peter's Prep, not getting any closer. Santiago down the baseline, dishes it back out. Here's Rosa for three.
Richie Rosa, ice cold, drills the three and looks back at the Hudson bench after they were chirping him. What a shot. He's so used to this moment, so elite on stages like this.
Graves all the way. Step back, no.
One thing I like from this Hudson Catholic squad is how communicative and disciplined they look on the defensive end.
Certainly not something we saw in that semifinal.
Not at all. Very sloppy on both sides of the ball.
Off the mark for Rosa. And E-Dub going quick. He's got options. Takes it himself. Count it.
Elijah Williams, a guy that has played on international stages, has played in this Hudson County Championship twice in his career. And what a job there in transition. Fearless. Takes it up with the right hand. Secures 2 points.
Martinez moving along the perimeter. Mason Santiago in the face of James. And here comes Graves again. Hudson going quick. Graves all the way. And well short.
But you like that if you're Coach Stewart. You want to get out in transition. They excel at the track meet style basketball.
And there's Ferdinand taking it the other way. He'll level this game up at 5.
And he's the key. He was the key last time. Either Gomez or Ferdinand have to get it done down low and provide a break for Santiago and Rosa on the perimeter, because these guards for Hudson Catholic are so athletic that they disrupt a lot on the perimeter.
Williams all the way in the corner. He's short, able to grab his board.
Yeah, that was a walk there. Missed call from the refs.
Yep. Break for Hudson Catholic as we crack the 3-minute mark. Graves thought about the long three.
Mismatch here. Look for him to take a jumper or go all the way in.
All the way. And blocked.
There it is. We said it. Down low, the presence for St. Peter's Prep is what's going to make the difference. Ferdinand, a little bit of a bad defensive possession for him, but Gomez took care of business.
And wide open is Nick Ferdinand. And they're going to give St. Peter's Prep their first lead of the night. Kayvon Stewart going to call this game's first timeout. 2:38 on the clock. St. Peter's leads it by a score of 7-5. We'll take a quick break right here on HCST Athletics. Back from the campus of New Jersey City University, home of the Gothic Knights. Hudson Catholic will have the ball out of the timeout. They look to tie it with a 2. 2.5 minutes.
Really a great first quarter thus far for Hudson Catholic. You love the way they're playing. They're playing the brand of basketball that they love to play, which is to force turnovers and get out in transition. You just really want to see their interior defense step it up.
Jaden Mason. Count it.
They're getting to the rack at will. Jaden Mason coming off the bench. We know how capable he is of creating his own shot. Does it right there.
Santiago at the top of the key. Guarded by Graves. All the way in and over the hands of A.J. Williams.
That's a can of corn for Mason Santiago. Contested at the rim, but it doesn't matter because he's been doing that since he was a freshman.
.90 seconds in this first quarter. Noriega James and Caden Post is able to get in there and force a tie-up.
And you know what? Hudson Catholic came out hot. They obviously got a bunch of talent, prep the heavy favorites. And you know what? They're not phased, showing off the resilience. Caden Post coming off the bench. This kid has never looked scared. I mean, we saw him last year against this Hawks team in double overtime on the road in a hostile environment, hit super clutch free throws, and he's just a ball player's ball player, if you know what I mean.
Yep. St. Peter's going the other way and lost it on the attempt to post. Here's James taking it to the rim. Yes.
Noriega forcing a turnover there. Such an elite defender since he first stepped foot with that uniform.
Here's Santiago, step back. Off the front of the rim. Oscar Martinez is there. He'll finish it for 2.
Type of guy that can just do everything on the floor, Oscar Martinez. He's developed into one of the better shooters in Hudson County, but he can also get down and dirty at the rim.
And so 35 on the clock now. St. Peter's up by 2. And Edub with it. Post pokes it into the backcourt. Edub tries to go in. They're going to call a foul on the Marauders before that can happen. Inbound to James. Clock dips below 20. Rosa giving him some space. Edub now, clock below 10. Dishes it out, Jaden Mason. Pass off, A.J. Williams gets in there. No. Still time. And there is the buzzer. So through the first 8 minutes, Hudson Catholic stays within a possession of the Marauders. We got 8 more minutes till these two teams head to the locker room for halftime. We'll take a quick break when we come back. Quarter number 2 on the way. Back at it for quarter number 2. St. Peter's lead the Hudson Catholic Hawks by a score of 11-9. Manny, a little bit of an uncharacteristic first quarter there for the Marauders.
Yeah, no doubt about it, but I just think it has a lot to do with the intensity that Hudson Catholic is playing with. We did not see this at all in the semifinal against Bayonne. They're moving the ball at will on the perimeter in the half-court offense, which obviously they didn't do against Bayonne. You're getting other guys involved and playing excellent defense, forcing turnovers.
James, great job making the space.
I mean, Noriega James, one thing you want to see from him is to be able to facilitate throughout the game and get your other guys involved. You need that to win this game. But if he can add the cherry on top by making moves like that, oh my goodness, what a spin, getting buckets for you, then you're in very good shape if you're the Hawks.
Seen some great moves from both teams thus far. Just what you'd expect from this storied Hudson County matchup. Santiago trying to break in. He'll travel.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. The star of the game so far has been that man right there, Noriega James, doing it on both sides. He put the cape on against Bayonne a few nights ago, And right now he's doing more of the same.
Hudson Catholic a chance for their first lead in a minute with a bucket here. James lost it for a second. Here's Jaden Mason. Mason, A.J. Williams, it's picked off.
I mean, what a play by Derek Gomez. These are the type of plays this prep defense makes and why they're so excellent at stopping teams.
Post looking for something on the baseline. Dumps it down low. Beautiful pass to finish it off. Derek Gomez.
Textbook basketball, high intensity. Caden Post, a guard who knows his job on the floor, slows things down, finds the big man down low.
Noriega James from way out. Santiago had some space. Instead, he'll pass it off, and not quite for Oscar Martinez. Here's Graves going all the way. He's short, able to grab his own board, and then loses it. Rosa there to pick it up. Rosa at the free throw line. A beautiful pass down low. Derek Gomez.
I hope the cameraman on the baseline got that one. That was a no-look pass right on the face of Derek Gomez. What a play by Richie Rosa.
James trying to stop some of this St. Peter's prep momentum. He won't there. Here goes Oscar Martinez. He loses it. And this ball going Hudson's way.
This is a packed gym right now, Caden. I mean,
absolutely.
The exact type of scene you would expect going into a game like this. And by the way, this is probably the county championship where prep has been the most heavily favored going into the game. But I've never seen, or at least definitely not last year. We didn't see Hudson come out like this.
No. Graves all the way.
Because although Hudson did have the lead at times in the first half last year, if my memory serves me correctly, they didn't look this smooth on both sides of the ball. You kind of expected that prep team to pull away late. No one was shocked that they were able to win the way that they did. But right now, if I'm a Marauder fan, I'd be a bit concerned.
Yeah, and I feel like this feels a lot like Hudson finally realizing their talent and being able to construct what they really should be able to do given the players on the roster.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And you have to have some grace for them. Kayvon Stewart, first-year head coach. Graves came in late in the year. Mason also missed a few games early on. So things just take time. And right now we're seeing it come to fruition.
Santiago can't find it off the rim. Beautiful pass to Jaden Mason. And he'll head to the line with a chance to tie it.
Again, they're so aggressive getting out in transition. And that's exactly the type of team that can get through this prep defense because their half-court defense is the most elite in the state. I'll go that as far as to say that. But in transition, if you got a bunch of athletes like Hudson Catholic, I mean, it just becomes a track meet at that point. So you can kind of expose Mirabel's defense that way.
Mason's good on his first.
Averaging 8.2 points per game is Jaden Mason. And sometimes he'll come off the bench, but he plays very heavy minutes and is one of the more important players on this Hudson roster.
St. Peter's Prep, number 2 team in the state. Hudson Catholic unusually comes into this one unranked. As Jaden Mason gets ready for his second.
It's been kind of a roller coaster year for them. This seems like it might be a peak if they keep it up.
I mean, it would certainly be a peak. There's been times where they've been ranked in the top 5 in the state and haven't won this tournament.
There's no doubt. And if you're St. Peter's and you're a fan of the Marauders, you're still feeling confident because they're doing what they want to do down low. They've had some solid looks from 3. They just haven't cashed it in. So if they can get hot from beyond the arc, they'll be fine.
It's going the other way. And this Hudson Catholic crowd really starting to lean into things.
I mean, this is a dream start thus far. for Hudson Catholic. Graves hasn't even gotten hot yet. He really hasn't done much. You still find yourself tied halfway into the second quarter.
Edub had a look, lost it.
Excellent
picked
defense.
up. And a foul called there on Elijah Williams for the block.
Yeah, I mean, we've just seen that year in and year out from this prep defense. They're so good in the half court. I mean, you just have to be perfect against them, handling the ball and passing the ball, or else they'll make you pay. They really don't give any room for error.
Freshman Dallas Baldwin in this game for the Marauders, now the only freshman on the roster. Rosa lost it. Ferdinand's there for it. And A.J. Williams able to force a turnover.
Great hands from Hudson Catholic there defensively.
They'll reset with James. We crossed the 4-minute mark of quarter number 2. James just tries it. He got it.
I mean, Noriega James taking step-back threes in the Hudson County final. Probably didn't expect that when we first saw him play because of the style of play that he came into his Hudson Catholic career playing, but he can do it all on the floor now.
Nice move from Baldwin. Gives Ferdinand an open look from the free throw line.
I mean, the buckets for prep have been much more graceful than those for Hudson Catholic with the way that they're moving the ball, but Hudson has so much talent that they can just take those step-back threes, get away with it, make it, and then you find yourselves up, although it feels like prep offensively has played a little bit more smoother of a game.
Graves passed to, I don't even know who he was targeting there, but
yeah, no one there. And that's the matchup of the game, Santiago against Graves. Prep knowing that if they can neutralize Graves as much as possible, then they're going to be in the driver's seat to hoist another trophy. And if there's anyone that can do that one-on-one in the state, it's Mason Santiago. Forget the county. I'm talking state level right now.
Certainly one of the best guards in all of New Jersey. Rosa. Beautiful pass. Ferdinand down low. He'll get fouled.
If anybody at home's got a clicker, or if you want to be old school and just tally it, tally how many times Caden Drumler says beautiful pass today. Because that's what prep makes you do as a broadcaster.
Yep,
they are such a great passing team, and we both have the same. I mouth it under my breath and I let you call the game, but that's just the natural reaction you have when you watch this team play.
Ferdinand right through on its first. Busy day for the Hudson Catholic cheerleaders.
Yeah, they've been hard at work.
And Ferdinand, with his fundamentals strong, sinks both. St. Peter's back in the driver's seat. They lead it by 1. James, beautiful pass out to the corner. Shortell is well short on his corner 3. And another travel called on the Marauders. This time it's Oscar Martinez.
Another note on Kayvon Stewart. Mentioned last time how he is a star guard. He liked that comment, by the way. It was funny between him and James, a little bit of banter. He averaged 9.6 points per game and 7.8 assists in his career as a player. Went 2-1 in the county tournament. He's trying to end it off 1-0 after this day as a coach.
Edub all the way in and just can't grab it. A little bit of a scoring drought brewing here for the Hawks. Santiago, another travel.
Yeah, and you see Prep kind of rushing into their offense a little bit more than they're used to. We mentioned during the Bayonne game how athletic this Hudson Catholic team is, and when they play together as a unit defensively, it really shows.
And that's Santiago's at least third travel of the game. He's been subbed out. Graves almost lost that one. Graves, tough shot there.
Yeah, and Hudson kind of going back to their throw up, I might say. That's not a good take from Ashton Graves.
Rosa all the way in, moving a little bit too fast.
Yeah, you got to start moving the ball more if you're Hudson Catholic once they get back into the half court, which it seems like Prep's going to force them into it.
Edub, great job making the space. Can't find the shot. Richie Rosa almost had that one stripped away. He'll get fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Nobody on the Hudson staff a fan of that call. Perez Munoz thought he had a timely reach. The ref's not having it. So Rosa will take a trip to the line.
This game will stay at one possession.
So I wrote in my pregame notes a question. Can Hudson Catholic match the physicality of the Marauders? Because that was a big question going into this game. They only got 14 rebounds as a team last time these two teams played. Rosa and Santiago combined for 14 by themselves. They're two guards. But so far, Hudson Catholic, I think, has matched the physicality of the Marauders.
Well, and we certainly know that they have the height and weight to do so. It's just, kind of a how bad do you want it thing, and they are playing like they want it right now. That one turned over under the rim. Nice move by the freshman. All the way in. He'll get fouled.
Dallas Baldwin, he's just going to be another one of those guards that develops in this system, plays in big games since a freshman, and you just expect to see him on this stage year in and year out. Great move there, getting to the rack, earning himself a trip to the line.
Well, and this team is led by seniors now who, like you said, Manny, were right in his shoes just a few years ago, and he sinks his first. So there'll be 44 seconds on the dot left in this first half. St. Peter's lead it now by 2 possessions.
There's a sea of black right now in the crowd. This is so fun to do these games, be a part of these atmospheres.
Absolutely. Ashton Grave trying to excite his student section one more time before the halftime break. Clock dips below 10.
I think there's a favorable matchup for Graves.
Absolutely. Guarded by Caden Post. And they're going to call a foul on the Marauders. And it's on Post. 5 seconds flat on the clock.
Prep Dad's not liking the call. Huh?
No. not even close.
Not even remotely.
So Hudson Catholic going to call for a timeout here. They've got 5 seconds before halftime. They have the ball. What do you think is going on in this conversation right now?
Yeah, I think it's setting up a play, maybe not your best play. I mean, it's only the second quarter, but you want to get Graves a bucket going into the half. Why do I say Graves in specific? Because he really hasn't had a big moment yet in this game, and you want him going into the locker room with his confidence through the roof, because that could set up a lot of good things for the Hawks in the third quarter.
Yep, certainly. As you said, not your best play. If you want to find situations where you want to use your best play, go watch the game before this.
Yep.
Hudson Catholic and Bayonne on the girls' side. But both teams now breaking out of their huddle. Hudson Catholic trying to shrink the lead just that much more. But really, no matter what happens on this play, you got to be happy about how you played these opening 16 minutes.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, but it feels a lot sweeter if you can finish strong.
And they do get it to Graves. And he just puts one up off. And that will do it. Dallas Baldwin collects the board as time expires. And both teams will jog over to the locker room. St. Peter's Prep looking for the four-peat on the backs of their star senior duo. Lead it by 4. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, half number 2 of the Hudson County Tournament Championship right here on HCST Athletics. Back here in Jersey City, New Jersey. We've played 16 minutes. St. Peter's leads it by 4, 16 more until we crown a county champion. Manny Pereira alongside me. I'm Caden Drummeller. We'll have the rest of this for you right here on HCST Athletics. As always, our streams are free of charge. We ask you to subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on our Instagram. We'll have all our post-game coverage up over there. Manny, your thoughts on that surprising first half?
Yeah, we're going to find out one of two things here in this third quarter. Did Prep just come out kind of flat, expecting things to be easier? Or has Hudson Catholic clicked the way that we've been expecting them to all season long? And if you're Hudson Catholic, you look at this stat sheet. Ashton Graves, 1 for 8. And you're only down by 4. That's pretty much a positive. But key word is down. You will not find yourselves up by the end of regulation if Graves keeps up this shooting percentage.
Gomez to Santiago.
Nonetheless, you're happy with the way the team looked. You're happy that the game is close. You're definitely happy about Noriega James, who had 9 points on 4 of 5 shooting. And the way that the defense has been playing, especially the hands on the perimeter, they forced 8 turnovers in the first half.
Well, I mean, I think more than anything, you're just happy that this team is playing more like a team than we've seen all season.
No doubt about it. A collectiveness that we haven't seen from the Hawks all year.
Martinez has that pass swatted away.
There are those hands again. This time, A.J. Williams, he's so athletic, such an impressive talent. You hope that as he keeps playing in this system, that he can really excel on the stat sheet the way that you'd expect him to.
Noriega James, beautiful pass. Corner 3. Can't quite connect for Shortell. Graves able to get the board. He can't put it away either.
Little bit of a force of a take, but it doesn't take away from the exceptional play on the glass from Ashton Graves. Again, we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. The key to this game was going to be if Hudson Catholic can keep up on the boards. Graves does a great job of securing the offensive rebound there.
Either team yet to score so far in this third quarter. About 2 minutes in now. 3 from Martinez, connects.
Martinez drills the three-pointer there. He went 0 for 2 from beyond the arc in the first half. That's very uncharacteristic of him. You expect him to make them like he did just there.
Mirabel hyping up the prep student section behind him. They lead it by 7. That's the largest lead all game. Edub can't get it. Going in with the left hand there.
St. Peter's Prep, an excellent third quarter team, and that's a sign of a great coach. Mirabel loves making great halftime adjustments. Obviously, everyone does, but he actually goes out and executes them. At least his team does. So you're seeing the fruits of that here right now early on in this quarter.
Hudson Catholic on quite the scoring drought. They were on and entering halftime. We're about 3 minutes in now to the third quarter, still yet to put up a bucket.
Oof.
Santiago.
Jersey guards are different. You see it right there. Mason Santiago over the longer defender, drills a bucket.
And kind of what we expected at the start of this game starting to happen. Prep dominating both sides of the ball right now.
I mean, it's just such a wonderful program. And it's been such a treat to watch the way that it all comes together for St. Peter's Prep. And I don't mean to hyperbolize or speak ahead as to think that they've secured this victory, because it's far from it. But after a shaky first half, to come out with much more intensity, not only are the players showing it on the floor, but you have a coach who's hyping up his own student section, and they're loving every bit of it.
The scoreboard certainly reflecting it as well. St. Peter's leads it by 9. A chance for the first double-digit lead for either team all day if St. Peter's can score right here. A timeout whistled by Mirabel. St. Peter's starting to look more and more like that number 2 team in the state, and more like they are on their way to a 4th consecutive Hudson County Championship. We'll take a quick timeout break. When we come back, the rest of the third quarter right here on HCST Athletics. We've spoken a lot about the talent and the teamwork that Hudson Catholic showed in that first half. Now it's time to see if they can handle resilience. They find themselves down 9 halfway through the third quarter.
See Nick Ferdinand with the ball there. Mismatch for him.
All the way in, and he does it without a problem.
Yeah, he's going to feast all night long if they keep Noriega on him, which obviously they're not going to do. But we mentioned earlier, Ferdinand had 22 and 10 against Hudson Catholic the first time they played, looking like Shaquille O'Neal in the last matchup. You see how capable he is to even beat you with that first step off the dribble.
And a foul called as E-Dub pushing in past the free throw line there. It'll be a foul on the floor.
Hudson Catholic yet to score in this third quarter. And I think that's just kind of a testament to the experience of Coach Mirabel compared to the lack of experience of Coach Stewart. Coming out of the half, one team looking a lot sharper than the other.
Graves spins, and he's fouled by Ferdinand, who didn't quite like the call.
To me, sitting here and having the best view in the house for these crowds and the student sections, I have a lot more fun looking at the dads going up in arms, and their reactions are hilarious.
Amazing dad reactions from both teams today.
No doubt.
And Graves now at the free throw line. He breaks the scoring drought. Still a field goal drought going to be active for the Hudson Catholic Hawks. And here is Richie Rosa, Mason Santiago, Nick Ferdinand, Gomez, and Martinez, the 5. And a hold is going to get called right there on Noriega James.
You saw so many Hudson Catholic players get in foul trouble last game. Really been kind of the opposite today. Not only that, they're still forcing turnovers too, which you got to be happy about.
And on the inbound there, another foul. So it'll just be Richie Rosa inbounding from the same spot. And Graves, his first foul of the night.
Great matchup here.
Rosa stepping back, he airballs. And another whistle. This time it'll be Prep committing the foul.
Maribel not happy at all with that take. And you know what? That's not really a characteristic type of shot selection for Rosa. But both guys, James and Rosa, having a lot of fun. They've shared this floor together before. Very competitive guys.
Ashton Graves Still can't finish it. Foul will whistle. So Graves heads to the line, but that's when if you're Graves, you kind of got to finish anyways.
Yeah, no doubt. You know how talented he is. This is a guy with SEC offers. Very much easier said than done. But like you said, he expects himself to make that one.
And still a game nowhere near entirely out of reach. But Graves misses his first.
Yeah, and in the first half, the refs really let these guys play, I would say. It was very physical, not many whistles. Not the same in this second half. Seen a few fouls already.
And 0 for 2 at the line goes Ashton Graves. Uncharacteristic misses from, as you said, someone with SEC offers.
Yeah, and Graves has a few moments. He had a few against Bayonne, but it feels like sometimes you find yourself
Posts, spins and puts it up.
Finishing the point on Graves, sometimes you find yourself really scratching your head because he's so talented, but it's his first year playing on this Hudson Catholic team, playing in a stage like this, and obviously he came in the middle of the year. It's tough to adjust to a system, so you expect next year if he stays, he's going to be elite. Not that he already isn't, but he's going to be executing those plays that you kind of scratch your head about.
And the dads, again, are up in arms about that foul call.
Yeah, they're really not letting him play right now.
But St. Peter's, again, their biggest lead of the day now, 11 points. And Ashton Graves, who just went 0 for 2 his last trip to the line, will try to make things right.
Three of 6 now from the line is Ashton Graves. You really want to see him stay over at the very least the 50% mark at the free throw line.
Jaden Mason back in this game in exchange for Alexander Perez Munoz. And Graves does hit both.
And really from a 23-point-a-night scorer, you expect him to shoot maybe at least a 70% clip from the line.
Post. Feeling himself on the dribble right now.
Hudson going back to a very high-pressure defense here.
Ferdinand back to Rosa. Dishes it to Ferdinand, who can't finish it.
Ferdinand's had a few tough misses today.
Jaden Mason all the way for 2.
Great job from Hudson Catholic, wasting no time getting out in transition, taking advantage of a prep mistake.
And watch out here. Beautiful pass down low and 1.
That's what you see from these Marauder players year in and year out, every single night. Wipe the last play. You know exactly what you're capable of. Stay true to yourself as a player. Nick Ferdinand, after making a tough play the possession before, stays composed, pump fake, and 1 3-point chance at the line.
And just as it looked like Hudson Catholic was maybe getting a little bit of the momentum going their way, and the 3-point play is finished off. Some trouble in the backcourt. Caden Post is going to get a little bit too handsy with Ashton Graves. So Graves again at the line. Hudson Catholic now in the bonus. And again, Graves can't find his first.
Just can't afford that. I mean, Graves has already been struggling from the field throughout this game, and to also have him struggling from the free throw line really does not set you up for success if you're Stewart and this Hudson Catholic Hawks team.
A little bit more pressure now in the backcourt coming from Hudson Catholic. Rosa gets it across the timeline. We're under a minute now in quarter number 3. Ferdinand back to Santiago.
Oh,
Santiago loses it. Another Marauder is down low to pick it up, and finally a foul. The bucket won't count. But with 32.7, another trip to the line for the Marauders. It will be Nick Ferdinand shooting 2.
and Ferdinand just has to do just enough to catapult his team towards a victory. If he can just keep rebounding and score at a decent clip, they're going to have a good shot of winning. We're chuckling right now because my former coach, Julio Gomez, having a blast right now. Derek Gomez's dad.
He's getting some looks from the student section as well.
He's awesome. Always been a high energy guy.
Gotta love when they're just really into the basketball.
Yeah, there's
know?
no doubt.
He was. Do you remember him at the St. Peter's Hudson game at Hudson?
Yes.
Last year,
Yes.
he was all the same.
Yeah, no doubt. He's awesome. Was the same way as a coach. It was great to play for him.
And the lead back to 11. Hudson Catholic presumably holding on for the last play of the quarter right here. It'll be Noriega James with the ball, clock below 20. James looking left, falls down, able to get the pass off. Edub with it, clock at 5, puts up the jumper, no. And enough time to put something up. Did it get off in time? No, it did not. Wouldn't matter, it didn't go anyways for Bishop Foster. But what a quarter. If you're the Marauders, extend the lead from 4 all the way up to 11, and they are 8 minutes away from completing the 4-peat. We'll take a quick break right here on HCST Athletics. When we come back, we'll crown a champion here at NJCU. Four about to get underway here from the campus of NJCU. 8 minutes left in the Hudson County Tournament Championship. Caden Drummeller, Manny Pereira with you on the call on behalf of HCST Athletics. And Manny, this scoreboard's starting to look a little more of what we thought it might look like at this point at the start of the game.
Yeah, we mentioned that we were going to find out one of two things. Wow.
Graves and 1. What a way to start it.
Yeah, no doubt. But to finish this point on the third quarter, we said either prep just came out flat or we found out a lot about this Hudson Catholic team, and really the experience of Coach Mirabel showed in that third quarter. Prep outscored Hudson 14-7. Hudson really struggled from the field, and it was really a testament to the halftime adjustments that Coach Mirabel and his squad made.
I think no matter how this fourth quarter goes, you got to be proud if you're Hudson Catholic of how you open this game. It just gives you a little bit of a glimpse of what this team really is capable of.
Yeah, and really not a senior-heavy team. Obviously, Mason Williams, AJ Williams, and Elijah Williams are seniors, but between Graves, James, Gibbs, you have a lot of guys that can really be a solid core for you next year. And if you can recruit a few more players, they're going to be in great shape again in 2027.
And this ball's going the other way. I'm unsure what the call is. It's not a foul, but Hudson Catholic will get the ball. And a bucket here makes this a 2-possession game.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear about next year if you're wearing black and gold.
James will give it off to Mason Williams. Back to Mason. All the way in. A little bit high on the layup.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit too much mustard. He probably could have gone up with the left hand. Easier to save from here, obviously. Don't have the greatest view.
Rosa. And an off the ball foul will be called on Hudson Catholic. Santiago the inbounds. And another foul is going to get called on Hudson Catholic.
And that was all Richie Rosa, by the way.
Yeah,
So
he did a
savvy.
great job at selling that.
All you need is the ref to not look for a split second. And veteran players like Rosa will make you play. And that's why he's going to excel in the MAC when he goes to Ryder next year.
His fellow Macker, Mason Santiago, with the ball.
Oh. We might have to cover that game when they play at St. Peter's.
We may. Ferdinand at it. And that's one that's going to hurt if you're Hudson Catholic. We'll take a timeout straight out of the shot. And we'll head to a quick break. 6:44 on the clock. St. Peter's up now by 11. Cruising on their way to a 4th consecutive Hudson County Tournament Championship. We'll be right back. Back in action here at the JMAC. St. Peter's Prep lead it by 11. This gym getting loud. This St. Peter's student section on their feet as they have been all game. And Ferdinand, who is having himself a day, is going to pick that one up off the floor.
Yeah, he's really been excellent in this second half on both ends of the floor.
Santiago with space. He'll dump it off. The freshman in the corner for three. Cash it. Dallas Baldwin.
I don't care how old Dallas Baldwin is. You do not give him that good of a look. A shoot-around shot from the corner. That might be the dagger. I mean, it's early, but it feels like the momentum is all the way on the Marauders side.
And another timeout now that's going to be taken from Hudson Catholic. And Manny, I feel like I got to agree with you here. Up 14, 6:06 left in this one. And St. Peter's despite the scoreboard, they've just been the dominant team in this second half.
I mean, we don't know what it was really because we're not necessarily basketball gurus. We weren't in the prep locker room. Maybe someone out there can grind the film to find out what it was that Coach Maribel found out about this Hudson Catholic half-court offense in specific, because they've been brutal from the field in this second half. And obviously from the free throw line, they're not helping themselves either.
And now, if you're St. Peter's Prep, this is starting to look more like just another stop on the way to something bigger than it does the pinnacle of this season.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Obviously, this is a team that will not be satisfied with just a county championship win and nothing to show for it in the state playoffs. This is a group between Santiago, Gomez, Ferdinand, and Rosa that has been in big games year in and year out. Rosa and Santiago were so close their freshman year of winning it all against Union Catholic, and they fell just short. You know that they don't want that to happen again this year.
Maribel hyping up his student section once more in the home stretch now. Edub all the way in with his left hand. Santiago to run it across the timeline. Little give and go, and now Baldwin with it. St. Peter's Prep taking their time on offense. Santiago is going to travel again. Maribel not happy at all.
Yeah, not at all, because he knows that that's not characteristic of Mason Santiago. I mean, to have this many turnovers in a game like this, it's the reason Prep's not up by more than 12. They may be up 20 if Santiago was playing a little bit better.
Yep, at least 4 travels on my count from Mason Santiago, obviously contributing positively to this team in many other ways.
Yeah, no doubt. His defense has been elite. We mentioned during this entire tournament, to be honest, since we've been covering the semis, even on the girls' side, that there are some players that even when they're having off shooting nights or off nights offensively, they find other ways to impact the game and make winning plays. Mason Santiago is one of those guys.
Edub again moving left, puts up the floater. Rim is kind.
They really got to go on a run here. And you're almost halfway through this fourth quarter. You need somebody like Elijah Williams to get hot here.
You need it sooner than later. There's Richie Rosa. He's off the back.
Here it is. This is what Hudson loves to do. Get out in transition.
Graves able to get it off a few bounces.
And again, 2 of your guys on the floor right now need to get hot at the same time if you're Hudson Catholic. 1 won't be enough. So if it can be Graves and Williams, you're happy with that going forward.
A little bit of life showing from Hudson Catholic. At the halfway mark now of this fourth quarter. Rosa down low, surrounded by White. Baldwin again for 3. He's short this time. And a foul that's going to be called on Mason Santiago.
Saw him get in a little bit of foul trouble, even against Union City. And throughout his career, that's kind of been his Achilles heel.
Yep, fouled out in that state championship matchup last year in which St. Peter's Prep were eliminated in double overtime on the stop right before Rutgers. Maribel trying to get the crowd back into it. Here's Graves. Graves all the way in. Nice jump. Can't finish it. And Richie Rosa is going to save it. And a big mistake there. Jaden Mason, beautiful pass to Graves on the jump out.
You need a bucket here. You need a bucket here if you're Hudson.
Mason for 3. Well off. Graves able to pick it up. He'll get fouled. No bucket to finish it. And that Hudson Catholic section was ready to almost storm the court.
Oh, my goodness.
If he finished the bucket on
Imagine
that.
if they actually win the game.
Yeah, I don't think that string we talked about in the game before is going to do much.
Yeah, not going to hold anybody back. Especially if they break a three-peat. I mean, my goodness. Graves earns himself a trip to the line. He has struggled all day long. No more room for that. He has to go 2 for 2 here.
Perfect on the first.
And again, if you're Hudson, you got to come out with at least 2 points after that possession. Prep gave you a break after forcing a turnover there, which came after a bad miss from Graves.
And yes, he does go 2 for 2, Manny. 6-point game.
Everything that happened in the first 3 quarters will get wiped forever if Graves can get it done here in the fourth.
Prep led this by as much as 14. Rose is blocked. They keep it in. No, it went out. And a sub here, Alexander Perez Munoz, is going to head back into this game. Unclear who he's coming out for. It'll be Jaden Mason.
They're going to go really big here. We mentioned against Bayonne how interesting it would be to see a lineup like this with Munoz and Williams on the floor at the same time. Let's see how they hold defensively.
Rosa gets the inbound to Ferdinand. Martinez back to Mason Santiago. Under 3 minutes.
Got somebody pretty much on the court. They got an extra coach there.
Santiago just taking time off this clock right now.
How much of a kill shot would a bucket here after holding the ball for so long?
And they're going to say there's a foul on the floor before the shot. It'll be charged to Hudson Catholic. Jaden Mason ready to go right back in. And they'll just redo that. They'll undo that substitution pretty much.
Yeah, I want to have your best scorers on the floor. I don't hate the idea. Again, they've been good defensively with these 5.
Santiago.
Graves reaching a little bit too much, maybe. He's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. Surprised the foul wasn't called there.
And it's going to be Noriega James who takes a foul.
Yeah, I mean, refs holding it both ways. There was a few fouls that could have been called and maybe a few travels on the prep side as well. They just want to see these guys play this late into such a big game.
This prep possession lasting almost 45 seconds now. And it's going to end with 2 free throw shots. First of which is good.
Martinez, who's been pretty quiet, especially in the fourth quarter, looking to provide 2 huge free throws, has already made the first one. And again, he's such a winning player because even if he hasn't touched the ball for a lot of the game, he's still always ready to make an impact.
You got to go down and score now if you're Hudson Catholic, and you'd prefer to do so rather quickly. Mason, E-Dub, going to take the baseline. No bucket. They'll call the foul on the floor.
That one's against Oscar Martinez, and really, if you're Hudson Catholic, you're not happy about that foul call. As easy of a bucket as you can probably get, although maybe Ferdinand kind of gave up on the play after the whistle. Couldn't really tell from here. And if there's anyone you want at the free throw line, if you're Hudson Catholic, it's Elijah Williams. Because of what we mentioned earlier, this is a guy that has experience playing international basketball. He's never fazed by any moment.
Elijah Williams. Right through.
No room for error at all. Next, Hudson, if there's another mistake for Hudson Catholic in this game, it's going to cost them the ball game.
Absolutely, and you expect to see some sort of press after this shot. try to force St. Peter's into some errors. We saw them make a great comeback a few years ago in Tahad Pettiford's senior year based off forcing just a ton of turnovers in that last minute.
And making a bunch of tough shots too, which, by the way, we haven't really seen. Most of Hudson's scoring has been in transition, which is their bread and butter. We just didn't expect that they would force so many turnovers going into this ball game. But you really need somebody, whether it's Mason, Graves, Noriega James, Elijah Williams, somebody's got to step up and create tough shots and make them, because that's what championship basketball is all about. Who's your guy that can get a stop and get a bucket on the other end?
Well, we have 2 minutes and 10 seconds to answer the question. Hudson Catholic is using their penultimate timeout.
Love that word, excuse me.
St. Peter's with 3 left.
Who's the guy that loves that? There's a PA announcer that we've...
Madison Square.
Is it MSG? Yes, it was MSG in the Big East tournament. Yeah, this is huge. What a timeout here, and the biggest timeout of Kayvon Stewart's young career as a coach. I mean, this is kind of make or break. Yes, there's 2 minutes left, but 2 minutes in high school basketball go by extremely quickly. We mentioned it earlier. Hudson has no more room to make any mistakes, and you have a lot of veterans on the floor. They're going to keep the same 5 out there, and out of those 5, you have at least 4 who can create a shot off the dribble. So you like that if you're the Hawks.
If you're Hudson, you want to come out of this with energy. You want your student section jumping. You need everything to go your way to start off this, come out of the break, excuse me.
And if you're the Marauders, it's just have your guys do what they've been doing over the past 4 years. Santiago and Rosa, just don't turn the ball over, control it, take your time, control the tempo, and get a bucket to seal the deal.
And that press is there. We'll see who they get it into. They inbound it to Baldwin.
Senior against a freshman here. And look at Baldwin getting past half court.
Holding his own, even with the double team. And he'll get knocked down and sent to the line.
Incredible toughness and incredible poise. Coach Maribel trusting one of his young guys in one of the biggest possessions of the year. He gets past half court, draws a foul. He'll go to the line now.
So the freshman at the line on his first shot. He's perfect. And what a game it's been for him all around.
Yeah, no doubt. And he might not light up the box score, but he's been a winning player for this prep squad. And it'd probably be hard to believe that they would be in such a position that they are if he would not have played the way that he has.
I mean, that 3 he knocked down earlier in that third quarter was huge, and we're talking about a much closer game should that not go in.
No doubt. And also with Santiago turning the ball over at the clip that he has, to have Baldwin be another ball handler that can slow things down and secure the basketball for you is huge.
A.J. Williams at the line. Edub trying to push in. They'll dish it out long, too, for A.J. Williams.
I mean, that's probably the worst take that you could have had if you're Hudson Catholic. Having your 5 pull up a long 2, not a good job.
And they finish it quickly on the other end, and that might do it right there.
Yeah, that's going to do it. We said that Hudson couldn't make any more mistakes. They did last time on the offensive end, and Prep took advantage.
A layup there will involve another Hudson Catholic trip to the line.
You just see those frustration on Stewart's face and in his body language, but no more room to dwell on that. I mean, we've seen crazier things happen, although I don't think anyone in this building, except for those wearing white jerseys, expect the Marauders to blow this one. So you got to just stay composed if you're the Hawks. Really try to set up a miracle.
So Noriega James shooting 2, and he's well short on that first shot right there. And the St. Peter's Prep student section is going to make sure he knows it. 1 for 2 at the line goes Noriega James. And another timeout here called by Hudson Catholic. We'll take a quick break. 1:12 left in the Hudson County Tournament Championship. St. Peter's Prep leads it by 9. Caden Drummeller and Manny Pereira saying welcome back for the final time tonight as we look to wrap up the Hudson County Tournament Championships. 2 games today. Hudson Catholic and Bayonne facing off earlier in the day, an overtime thriller in that one. Bayonne winning their 6th straight, and another streak that in all likelihood will be continued in this next minute as St. Peter's Prep is that close to adding on number 4.
Yeah, I mean, and looking back, I think the play or the 2 plays that defined this 4th quarter were things that are small, that are definitely not showing up on the stat sheet. And you probably won't think of right away when you look back on this game in 5 years. But Dallas Baldwin being able to step it up, handle the ball well for this St. Peter's Prep squad, draw a foul to get to the free throw line, make both of those. And then Hudson Catholic on the other end, not taking advantage of having a chance with 2 minutes left to play, really taking a bad shot and an uncharacteristic miss there. Kind of defined this game and sealed it for the Marauders.
The lead back to double digits. Number 11 makes the lead 11. As we have 60 seconds left in this one. Edub going quick the other way. He'll lay it in for 2. And Hudson putting on that press, hoping for anything they can find in this last bit. That one's tipped back, but Caden should still have it. And a 10-second violation is going to give Hudson Catholic another chance.
I mean, these guys are not going to give up. Mirabel is livid with the way that his ball handlers have played today. And that's why I keep emphasizing how crucial it was for Baldwin to secure that possession for the Marauders, because the Hudson Catholic defense and their press in specific has been wonderful all day.
A little bit of a heavy pass that'll require A.J. Williams to hit the backcourt. Here's Ashton Graves all the way in. Not even close off the glass. And Oscar Martinez is headed to the free throw line. And the St. Peter's Prep student section is waving goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, what a performance from the Marauders. This is really a game where they were flat. I mean, we would say they didn't play their best basketball today. And them not playing their best basketball is still holding up a trophy at the end of regulation.
Just a testament to how strong they are as a team, to why they have that number 2 next to their name, and to why they have a very good argument for taking home a state trophy later in the season. Mason will try a 3. It's well short. Some of the assistant coaches holding up the 4 But the student section, they know what's to come. It'll be another chance for Mason Santiago at the line first.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, kind of just dribble it out after this with 23 seconds to go. If Mason makes even just one of these, it's about a 5-possession game. It's way too much.
I don't even know if the ball can travel the court 4 times in 22 seconds. 5 times, I should say. But he does make the firsts.
I mean, what a career for him. What a career for Rosa. They're not done after today, but it is so impressive to win 4 county championships every single year that they don the Marauder uniform.
And one last slam for A.J. Williams. That'll decrease the lead to 11. And a little bit of an issue now. It looks like the netting, something with the netting.
Yeah, I mean, a ferocious slam. I guess now the net's not in the greatest shape.
I think we can finish off the last 12 seconds of this one.
Yeah, I agree. We got some fun, friendly banter coming from this entire section, students and parents. I mean, it's so cool, these atmospheres, man, every single year.
Yep. Richie Rosa just got to advance it past half court, which he will. Business as usual. The St. Peter's Prep Marauders will dribble it out. The buzzer sounds, and for the 4th year in a row, they will be crowned Hudson County champions.
I mean, what a season, what a job. So much adversity that these guys have gone through throughout their high school careers. Obviously, last year was one of the more unorthodox seasons that you could envision for a program. They still got it done, and like you said, business as usual. I can't put it in a better phrase.
One of the most successful programs in all of Hudson County. One of the most successful programs in the state, and it's not just basketball. Athletic dominance from the Marauders. And just another trophy in the collection.
No doubt about it. And when we had Mirabel on for the post game after the semifinal, he said he wouldn't call himself a dynasty. He said Hudson won 7 straight. I understand that, the competitiveness. He probably should think like that. But we're here to say that there's no doubt about it. This is a dynasty in Hudson County. And I believe it was birthed last year. This year, they just keep amplifying it. And I'll tell you one thing. They're going for that 7th straight.
Marauder Nation storms the court. It's a school-wide celebration. And as you said, Manny, that one missing piece for this core group of guys, many of them in their senior year, is that state championship.
No doubt. And they're going to celebrate this maybe for an hour. Because like we said, they expected to win this. If they would have lost this game, it would have been a massive failure, which is not the case for many programs. And it really says a lot about the pedigree that they've built over in Jersey City. Now, it's just on to the next. They're looking to hoist 2 more trophies before the end of the year, the sectional and the group final.
Take a look now at the trophy presentation happening down on the court. Athletic Director Rich Hansen, in his last year with the Marauders, a decades-long career with them.
I mean, celebrate it, enjoy it. It's nothing like winning, huh? Good for this program. I mean, we always say how impressive it is what we've seen from Coach Alex Mirabel. The players usually get all the shine. It's important to shout this guy out as much as we could, because this level of dominance is not something that many people expected to be possible from this program 5 years ago. And he's really gotten it done with them.
Downtown dominance. Jersey City, St. Peter's Prep lift up the trophy. They're used to it. And that golden basketball is going to have some brothers.
No doubt. A lot of twins. It's incredible, man. Really incredible. What a treat to cover it. And in this building, this is not the only trophy, though, that they want to hoist out of college. They want to go to another college before this year ends and win a game there.
Well, that'll do it for this presentation of HCST Athletics. We thank you so much for watching here today. We thank you for watching our continued coverage of the Hudson County Basketball Tournament right here on HCST Athletics. I'm Caden Drummeller, joined by Manny Pereira. And on behalf of our entire crew that has worked so hard this entire week, we say have a good Saturday night and a good rest of your weekend.